Alrighty, let's see what we've got today. Base and Prosperity. No Platinum and Colony though. The odds of getting Platinum and Colony proportional to the number of Prosperity cards in the kingdom. Here we got exactly half of them. Also, they all happen to be on the top row. This happened just in the last week too, where one of the kingdoms just so happened to be all of one expansion on the left, all the other on the right. Here we got all Prosperity on the top. There's no reason it should be like that. They're ordered by cost and then alphabetically within cost, and it just so happens that they all the high cost cards / low in the alphabet cards came from Prosperity here. Interesting. Okay. What's happening? There's no draw in the kingdom, so this isn't going to be an engine, it doesn't look like. We got Workers' Village for a village. You can trash with Moneylender and or Crystal Ball. And plus buys Tiara and or Workers' Village. There's Workshop Gardens, which actually might be a little bit better than usual here with Workers' Village around. I think on average, Workshop Gardens Village is a slightly better strategy than Workshop Gardens Estate. It scores fewer points than Estates, but you empty the piles quicker because you can play multiple workshops per turn. And Workers' Village seems like one of the better villages for that rush because you can buy a bunch of coppers to buff your gardens. So I'm thinking something like this looks alright. If not that, then probably the goal is play with 1 or 2 charlatans and a bunch of crystal balls, and then that deck could put some tiaras in it, and then your crystal balls could play the tiaras, could play more crystal balls, and you get some amount of plus buy off of that, and then you buy provinces. Not sure which of those is better. Do I have the 5-2 by chance? I don't. That might be a good reason to do the charlatan plan. The curses aren't much of a threat for the Workshop Gardens deck, because they buff the gardens. I mean, it's still net negative points, like 10 extra curses, even with 8 gardens, is still negative 10 VP for plus 8 VP. They're also coppers here, because of Charlatan, so they hurt the deck quality less than usual as well. I'm going to try Workshop Gardens. We'll see how that goes. I'm not sure if that's better. Maybe I'll try it the other way afterwards. Don't like seeing 2. I'm really trying to lower these piles as much as possible. Don't like seeing the workshops in the same hand. It's not going great so far. Okay, Bot's going for Charlatan. Looks like probably with the Crystal Ball plan, or maybe just golds, I guess. That seems like something the bot would do. Probably don't want to buy coppers quite yet. I want to find the workshops, not this many workshops. I have 4 workshops in the deck. This is clearly I pitch at least 2 of these. I could hope to draw into one of the workers' villages. I'll try if I could pick 3. I'm just gonna pray that I find a workers' village. Nope, no dice. I'm probably gonna lose this game, aren't I? These shuffles have been nasty. There's all my villages. Still doesn't feel like copper time quite yet. Yeah, but I've already got a province. Actually, the province seems premature, especially with a tiara in play. Seems like a great time to top deck like another tiara and a treasure for the next turn. But what do I know? God dang it! Where are my villages? I swear, I have put so many villages into this deck. Too many villages, one might say. I guess I'll take an estate. Okay, here we go. For the first time, I get to play more than one workshop in a turn. Oh Lord. I don't like seeing all my workers' villages and none of the workshops. That bodes poorly for future turns. Hopefully I can draw some of them here, please. What is going on? It's probably time to start taking gardens? Is that so? I think so. I'll buy a bunch of coppers now. I think these draws have just been a total disaster. I'm not sure if the thing I'm doing is better in principle than the thing that the bot is doing, but certainly the way this is going, I don't think it's going to win. Ay, ay, ay. Yeah. Yeah, the bot bought a copper. That's curious. I'll just put one more workshop in that shuffle and then trigger it. And I hit 2. These sellers have been pretty good cards. I'm happy with the sellers. Maybe I should have taken one more over that one early estate. I swear, there's villages. I've drawn like 10 cards this turn. Where are the villages? There they are. There's all my villages in the same hand. Every single shuffle gonna be this. Now the bot's buying the gardens from me. You jerk. Those are supposed to be mine. Yeah, I'm so toast here. Oh, really add insult to injury. They're buying 2 gardens over over the next province. But yeah, that really hamstrings my ability to score additional points. Like, I've got 6 gardens, I think. It's not easy to. I have to gain 10 more cards to get the spike in points. I'm not easily overcoming a 10-point deficit, let alone whatever else the bot managed to score here. Ay, ay, ay. Yeah, this is beyond lost, right? 15-point deficit. I'm not coming back from this. I can't really lower estates because I'm obviously not winning anytime soon. The bot's probably going to buy out the estates. Next time it finds a tiara. Estate here. And the next tiara in hand is going to be a win because it'll have plus buy. Okay, so I just need to gain like 20 cards this turn. Can I find all of my workers' villages? Nope. Okay. Well, there goes the streak. I'm going to try that again. Again, I'm not at all confident Workshop Gardens is the better strategy, but that was just a true dumpster fire of a run. Okay. It's happening again. I mean, at this point, this isn't that unlikely. I do have the 1 workers village for the 3 workshops. My bot's going for Cristobal this time, which makes sense to me. I thought Cristobal looked good in the last deck. This is really upsetting me. I'm not buying coppers yet, I don't think. If I had 2, I'd buy a seller there. Alright, well, we found 1 workers village and 2 workshops. Still managed to draw a workshop dead. Unless maybe I draw a workers village off the top here. I don't know if there's one down there. Nope. I feel like I'm taking a truly paranoid amount of workers villages and it's still not working out. Probably once I trigger this shuffle, it'll be time to take gardens. Maybe sooner than that even. Oh my, look at this. 3 whole workshop plays. Yeah, maybe I'm taking gardens already. These piles are pretty low. Let's go in on the points. Honestly, like, the bot is provincing on what I would consider the early side for this deck. I would think that the Charlatan Cristobal thing could take more Cristobal's, get a little bit thinner, and accomplish a little bit more before greening. Maybe that's wrong. It's not the strongest kingdom ever. Alright, just managed to get a bump up on the Garden's points. I think if you're playing an engine and trying to beat the Garden's rush, I think it's usually not advisable to lower the Gardens, because it means there's fewer total cards for me to pile out and I end the game quicker. Given that the bot's playing big money and just trying to stay up on points, I think that's not so unreasonable. Sad number of workshops. Am I trying to end the game? Yeah, I think I'm probably trying to pile out with a points lead here. This could also just be taking estates. I'm at 48 cards. I'm about to get another bump here. Trouble is, unless I go for estates, that'll be the last 7 points that I score this game. Buying a bunch of coppers for its 1 Gardens. Wait, do I only have 5 Gardens? Did the bot buy multiple Gardens and I just didn't notice it? I thought I just saw myself go from 24 to 29 points, unless I'm making that up. Wait, I'm at 30. What is going on? Did I miscount by 1? Something's up. Clearly I've miscounted something here. I think 2 estates here and a copper. I ended up piling estates after all, although I wasn't planning on it. Alright, can I survive one more turn? I think so. If I do, I win. Okay, yeah, so looks like Workshop Gardens was fine as a strategy, and these shovels still weren't great. I was having quite a few ugly turns early on. I think that first game was just an absolute nightmare draws there. This looks okay. I'm going to try it the other way and see how that goes. Alas, I've lost my streak. So I'm thinking either Tiara Silver or Moneylender Silver. I think I'm going to try to get a little bit thinner than the bot did, and then go for Charlatan and Cristobals. Well, my Moneylender has bottom decked. Cristobal. Oh no, 3 is not the number I want to see. 4 is fine, because I'd be happy to buy tiaras here. I'm not convinced silvers are all that great. Maybe I don't think I want to sell it very much either. Maybe a seller's okay. Another Cristobal. I don't like hitting 3 so consistently. That's just a really awkward number, I think, for this deck at least. 4 is fine. I'd be happy to buy Tiara. 5 is fine. I want to buy Cristobals. The 3s are going to be a big problem, I think. Okay, a Cristobal or 2, not a Cristobal or 2, a Tiara or 2 would really accelerate this deck. I don't need to see you. I'll just leave that on top. Because it means whatever you're buying gets top decked again. I haven't hit 4 in ages. It could be the case that TR just ends up being straight up better than Cristobal. I was just expecting to hit 4 a non-zero number of times here, and so I was buying Cristobal on all the $5 turns. Get that out of there. Hey, I'm just going to buy a Tiara here. I feel like I needed one sooner. I think it was just unlikely that I hit 3 as many times as I did. What is the bot doing this time? Vassals and workers' villages? Fascinating. I guess that's alright. I feel like this is like game 1 all over again. I don't think this has been a good demonstration of what I envision the Charlatan Tiara Cristobal deck to be. I'm playing Tiara for the first time on turn 14. I got it way too late, and then it was at the absolute bottom of this shuffle, and now it's going to miss this shuffle. That was a good reveal. Yeah, I'll just trash that and top deck a Tiara. So this is what I imagine happening much sooner, is you use your first Tiara to get more stuff, you put it straight on the top, and then you get the benefit of those things much faster, as opposed to these 2 cards being down the discard and finding them 4 turns later. Oh, the bot's going for gardens now. The vassal garden strategy, okay. See, this looks good to me. Just keep playing Cristobals and Tiaras. I wish I were doing this much earlier on. I'm probably going to lose on Cristobals and Gardens, I think. I need to get to scoring just a little bit late here. But we will see. It might be late enough in the game that I'd rather just play that for the money than trash it. I think I just need points ASAP, and if, for example, that one extra coin stops me from hitting Province, I would be incredibly sad. I think it's probably worth pitching these. Yeah. It would have been sad if I drew into a Charlatan or something. I'd rather play the Cristobal before the silvers in case I hit a Tiara. The Tiara needs a target. Moneylender can die now. And look at that, the 1 extra coin did end up mattering for my ability to hit Province. What a curious deck the bot has over there. The Gardens Rush with no workshops. And then a state. Is there any consideration for not playing this Cristobal? There might be. Like, this is just a very disproportionate number of my good cards. I think that shuffle's not so hot to trigger. There's a cellar down there, so I can maybe sift past a bunch of it. I could do Province plus Gardens. I don't love lowering the Gardens, though. Maybe that's fine. Maybe the bot's deck isn't that great at taking Cristobals, and I'm not so worried about the piles. Oh, wait, what? I think I forgot to account for the copper. I was thinking this was... Oh! There's a Tiara that's still unresolved. I looked at this and I was like, this is 12 money if I don't play the Cristobal. It's 13 money. Well, So on the one hand, the fact that I'm still playing a Tiara and didn't know that means I could do Province Duchy, which kind of solves my problem. On the other hand, that does mean this Cristobal is going to get me further through those cards naturally. I'm going to shoot for double province. Don't like finding the cellar at this point in time, just because now it leaves a bunch of junk on top, but I can top deck a cellar, and that will turn out okay-ish. Yeah, this hand's a bunch of junk, but I brought that on myself. It seemed like it was worth it. Alright, so the bot has 35 cards, looks like. So it's not super far off from another, whatchamacallit, bump up in Gardens points. Too many tiaras in my hand. Discard. Play. Just another province, I think. Ooh, that's not good. That's a bad draw. Oh, that's interesting. I would have expected the bot to take the last gardens in a duchy. Well, I guess I'll buy gardens here then, right? I don't think the bot... Maybe the bot hits 10? Okay, duchy. I feel like the bot's deck is not that much of a threat to pilot crystal balls. Probably something like piling estates is a bigger risk, or staying ahead on points indefinitely. Might not want to play that. Isn't there a charlatan down there? I play the cellar and pitch the curse. There's a decent chance I draw into charlatan and I'm sad. Crystal ball hitting charlatan is fine. I'm just going to discard it. Okay. Like province. And I'm not sure estate is better than nothing. I'm going to pass them. Nearly at the end of a shuffle. I do worry a little bit about the bot piling estates. Trash that. Trashing curses, I think, makes sense, even though I could have played it for 1 money, just because it's also guaranteed 1 point. Can I find me a tiara? Thank you. I think the plus buy is helpful. Ooh, I'm in trouble now, though, right? The bot is now at 24. It just hit 40 cards exactly. Yeah. Well, that's no good. Probably this is 2 duchies then. Sure would be happy if I could find a cellar here off the top of my deck. That's not a cellar. That's not a cellar. This isn't a good hand for the cellars. They're just a little bit too low. Where's the bot on cards? Ooh, it's at 48 cards. That's not good news either, right? I mean, next turn, the bot's gonna go up 7 more points, and that's probably gonna put it out of range, I think, realistically. Gotta buy province here. Obviously, this opens up a loss if the bot hits 8. Or 6 and 3 buys would also be, I think, a win here. Wait, did I do the math wrong? I think I just keep getting the gardens numbers all wrong. I thought I was about to jump up in points. I gotta play this, right? I would yeah, I think the most realistic way that I win here is hitting 8. Alternatively, I could hit a Tiara and buy 2 estates. So this just needs to find 1 money. That'll do it. Okay, yeah, I think I prefer this deck a tad over the Workshop Gardens Rush. It wouldn't awkward. I think you do want more crystal balls than tiaras. The correct number is not an even number, I don't think, because too many tiaras in hand can be a problem. But you do want enough that you're finding a tiara each turn. I think early on the top decking matters a lot, and the plus buy can matter as well. I think I was way too late to get a tiara. I think that was mostly just due to awkwardness of shuffles. Maybe at some point I should have just bit the bullet. And well, actually, I did eventually bite the bullet and buy tiara on 5, but maybe I should have done that even earlier. I think in most cases you just hit 4 early and take a tiara. Maybe even before the moneylender. I think the moneylender is probably fine because in 90% of cases you're going to hit 4 again soon. But I think this would have gone better with an earlier tiara. Admittedly, this deck confuses me, and it's not what the bot did earlier. Not exactly sure what's going on here, but it doesn't look like a Gardens Rush deck. There's not that many workers' villages for plus buy. There's no workshops, but it went for gardens anyway. So maybe this wasn't the best opponent to test this strategy against. I'm not sure. I think with the power of hindsight, I'd probably do something like this, but I'm not confident that beats Workshop Gardens. Obviously, it depends a bit on shuffles.